America can be traced back to two different times, basically. A book, The Great American Plains, which was first published in Germany, by the way. Talking about basically about the Great Plains of America, or my country. Which means two things, by the way. Aircraft, and also, it was actually a book of aircraft, and also there was also a book of basically the planes. Well, actually, it was basically mostly an aircraft book, I believe. But it was also talked about. But there's also books about the great wide open spaces of America, basically, which were basically the middle part of America or some part of America. Like I said, America means air and CA, or aircraft in California, basically, or something like that. I made up the word, actually. Like I said, I also made up the word California. My country was originally supposed to be called California, but America sounds better and is better. Basically, it means country of flight, pretty much. Air and whatever. A flying country, which we were. We were all, America was very much a flying country, as all my aircraft manufacturing was. Well, I had a lot of aircraft manufacturing in Europe, basically, too. Pretty much. My Volker's jet was basically made in Europe, and also jet engines. The Volker's jet was originally made out of wood, as a lot of wooden aircraft. And at one point in time, basically, I put out a what's it called? I was funding, or at least wanted a production site for my wooden aircraft, and basically Russia. I had wood or something in Russia. Basically, my Russian aircraft, and pretty much Russia was a very big part of basically my aircraft manufacturing. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my own words as I'm trying to remember. Basically, though, but that's why there's the stars above the Kremlin and stuff like that. Lusifer Star is my name. That's with an S, by the way. Lusiferstar. So anyway, and because of the massive amount of identity theft and everything else, I asked that no one in the human race actually, or a human life form type, because that's more accurate a description of what you are, use my name, basically, as my name is actually Lucifer Star. Anyway, but for some reason, my parents wanted to name me Brian Nathaniel Alexander Briley. But I was also known as the Great Alexander, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And at one point in time, I told people that my name was Jesus. People were trying to kill me. People were looking for me to actually kill me. So, as basically somewhere around 1920s, 1930s, people were going around just shooting people who owned things and were rich, and basically taking their identity and stuff like that. So, I was a little bit worried about putting my name out there. Christ goes back to the Christ cup, a golden cup, basically, as they made Christ cups or something like that. I don't really know that much about it. Crazy. Anyway, though, but this whole thing, what's it called? Like Columbus, a great Attilian, or what the hell are you talking about? Like I said, I had different camps, like a French colony camp in Florida or something like that, and I had a couple different places around. And basically it gets all confusing, and blah, 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 blah is basically pretty much, it's my country pretty much, and I have different groups which are settling in America pretty much. And eventually I'm like, all right, that's it, it's America. Anyway, like I said, I was the inventor of flight, and flight actually goes back to about 15,000 years ago when we were doing flight originally. Another lost fact is basically the first aircraft probably used human skin. Very old human skin. Like I said, they all died from natural causes. I would never let anyone be killed for their skin, basically. Anyway, whatever. It gets all complicated and confusing, and basically there are a little bit crazy people, pretty much. I don't really know. Like I said, I never had a part of the organ, whatever, blah, blah, and lots of this and that kind of stuff. Anyway, though, but in the absence of truth and reality, people like JFK and Nixon and the United States Congress started making up shit, basically. Also, there's people like Bill Gates, who I hear basically were, like I said, I wasn't actually there, but pretty much Guantanamo Bay, smearing himself with goat blood and on LSD and yelling, Alfa Romeo, or something like that, and running across coals or something. I don't really know. They're crazy, nutsoid people, basically, that had way too many drugs. Anyway, and then you have JFK and Nixon and blah, 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 blah. And someone that's Kennedy but isn't really Kennedy because all the Kennedys died in 1920 or something like that. Like I said, I thought that Kennedy was Kennedy, and it turned out he wasn't really Kennedy. He was actually a clone or something like that. And while I did say they could live inside of my White House, I did not say they could try and run my government or pretend to be me. So, anyway, like I said, anyway, so it gets all confusing, and basically this whole thing of where basically people are trying to generate or make up where America came from because they didn't know exactly how or where. Like I said, America was basically a book printed in Germany as I wanted to basically promote my country, which I named. And it also goes back to when the LSF-A colony ship launched from Earth, basically at some point in time in history or in the past at some point in time, when people were like, what should we name your country? What are we gonna name your country? And I was thinking about it, and I was like, Erica? So it became America. As I was like, America? Erica? Erica? I don't know. Or something like that. And they they heard America. Or they decided to call it America. So different points in time and space where basically I named this country as Erica. Female name. So anyway though, but America basically. And then as Brian, I named it again as America. As I created the word. So that is where your country comes from. And like I said, at some point in time, I declared my independence as America, and I also declared my independence as Lusifer White Star Lines Mining and Shipping Company, as basically pretty much some people in the Congress or whatever wanted to basically remove women's rights and also restrict women from going to school and being able to read. And I was not okay with that. I believe in equal rights, and I believe in basically man and woman working in my companies and factories and on my ships. And I didn't care about who you were or what you were or how much you owned or how much you were worth. You could not kill people, nor demean people, nor hurt people, nor harass people. So, anyway, and I may have launched a somebody off one of my White Star Line ships bridges or something like that, as I said, throw him off the ship, and they did. So anyway, and he might have been a king or something like that, as he had basically wanted me to basically burn somebody that he had killed inside of his cabin or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure. I was just contacted because he said contact the owner, so they contacted me, and I basically, he wanted to use the what's it called? He wanted to throw his dead whatever inside of one of my steam engines to burn it, basically to burn the body or to cover it up or something like that, and I refused. And basically told them to throw him off the ship, which they did. 3 or 4 miles out in the water. And then I said, we'll send a boat back to get him. But he was possibly already dead. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I am one of those people where I would not tolerate rape nor the killing of anyone by class or by whatever. And I became a hero as basically pretty much, I didn't care how rich you were or how powerful you supposedly were. If you killed somebody or did something wrong, I was not on your side. Anyway, whatever. Like I say, I believed in jails and basically just restricting people's movements or whatever, blah, blah, and stuff like that. My name is Star. Technically, when you see a car driving down the road and it has a star on the side, technically they're the great whatever or whatever's left of basically what I was. Lucifer Star. Anyway, star badges, stuff like that. I also basically named America and created the American government. Anyway, whatever. Basically, a country is pretty much where, when you own a country, it's basically where your thoughts and your actions and your wills are basically put into effect by your people. As basically I am equal in opportunity, and basically advancement within my society is based on skills rather than rank or bloodline. Basically, and I believe in training within. I believe in training new people as well as internal promotion and stuff like that. The stuff that basically you can go back to Panama and stuff like that, as basically Panama Canal was one of my projects. Anyway, and steam and other things, and organs and steam organs and music, and I loved music. Music was one of my big things. I believe that music was a wonderful expression, and blind people agreed with me, and some of the best people that were great composers were actually blind people. Anyway, I was also the one who invented or asked for eyeglasses to be given to my populations, or made for my populations, and I came up with the idea of basically using glass lenses, or refocusing the eyes through glass, basically. And eventually we came up with plastic lenses as well, and also possibly contact lenses. Anyway, lots of things were done as my will and my desires were basically put into effect by my people. Anyway, so there you go. Enjoy. A man named Brian, who was actually Lucifer's star. My true name, or my chosen name, is Lucifer Star, or Lucifer White Star Alliance. Basically, that was my company. Anyway, yes, enjoy that fact and that tidbit.